Because Islam is not just a religion, Islam is also a economic entity. It's a military entity. It rules all of life under Sharia law, that a Muslim cannot separate church from state. Church and state are not separated in their mind, or I should say mosque and state are not separated in their mind. So they believe that Christians also, that are part of a church, that they're really part of the state. The state is the church is the state works with the church works with the state in tandem. And because of that, there is many misconceptions that they have about the church and the nature of the church. They believe that the church is really no different than an army, and that when a church sends a missionary to the Muslim land, that missionary is actually working for that government. And so they think there's this connection between the missionary and the government, and so the missionary is actually a spy trying to relay information back to their government, and they're the insider that has learned their language, and they're maybe even trying to do nefarious acts by trying to divide the country and so forth. And so they believe that that's part of the church's work, is to work with the government to go into Muslim lands, to divide the country so that the Christian armies from the West can come over and take over the Muslim lands. This is actually talked about in news. They call this even the Great Middle East Plan. They have different names for it. And that's one misconception that they have with the church. The other misconception actually has to do with the concept of the church. And I won't go into much detail, but to say that their idea of what a church is what they've seen on, again, from Hollywood and movies and TVs coming from the West. They see this large building, and they go into the building and they see that there's these statues, there's a man hanging from a cross, there's pictures of a woman holding a baby, and there's these little rooms where you go into and a priest takes your sins away from you, and they see these people kneeling in front of what they would say are idols, and people are lighting candles, and they don't even know what is that about. And so they think, well, it's an idolatrous religion where people can go to a priest and a priest takes their sins away from them, and that they bow in front of idols. And that's a misconception that they have, again, of the church, thanks to Hollywood. But this is a very serious thing, because if, again, my example of this Muslim father and a Muslim mother, and their daughter comes to faith in Jesus Christ and says she's a Christian, then she says she's going to a church. What are they thinking? They have this misconception. So these misconceptions need to be addressed at the early stages of talking with a Muslim.